So the American Dream is a national television spanning all across the country, and our goal is to win an Emmy. Real estate and finance are centric to our message. Joining us on the show now, he's an award-winning mortgage banker in the top 200, Eric Kulbe, residential mortgage banking expert.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you on the show, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, so first time you and I have been able to sit down. I have a back history in mortgage, so I always love this kind of talk. You got a great backstory as well. You got into the business in 2001. We're now in 2018. So give us a little history of your journey in this industry.
Yeah, I mean, I fell into the mortgage business. 2001, I was living in my mom's basement. I had a dream of being a big league baseball player. That didn't work out the way I'd hoped it did, but it looked like, looking through the paper, needed a job, the newspaper at the time.
Right, and they had those.
They had newspaper, and it looked like mortgage was hiring. And I was like, I'm not exactly sure what mortgage is, but let's see if one of these guys might take a shot at me. So really fell into it.
So that's 2001, which means you survived a market crash of 2008. What was that experience like?
I started in subprime lending, the first kind of 9 months of the business that I was in it, and built a nice little platform, but realized it wasn't the direction I wanted to go. Realized I wasn't really, didn't seem like that was a sustainable business model by any means. So
sure.
Got more into the A paper side, had a great run up until 2008. Just kind of, I'm a grinder. I just figured it out and worked hard and showed up every day, and it ended up working out really well for me. But along the way, 4 different companies that I worked at didn't make it. So 2008,
Crazy.
The big crash, ended up at a very strong mortgage banker, very well capitalized company that was a perfect fit for the last 10 years, and definitely have learned a lot. But I've realized that it's really about market corrections, things that happen. Don't put food on the table. So
yeah.
I need to be, if there's a loan out there to get, I want an opportunity to go and get it.
So that's 2008. Fast forwarding us now to 2018. Talk to us about the state of the market today. What do consumers need to know? What do realtors need to know? What do other loan officers need to know about what's going on this year?
I mean, this is a very interesting market. This is, I would say, one of the toughest markets that I've ever been in. You have rising interest rates. You have low inventory. You have margin compression. Which is a buzzword.
Yeah, it's a buzzword. What do you mean when you say that?
It means you're not going to make as much as you used to doing the mortgage business. That's
so
really what it means.
So as a professional, it's straight up, income's going to be a little bit lower.
Yeah, I mean, margin compression means what you used to be able to earn on a loan. We have what's called a margin, which is where kind of the money is made between what the loan price is and what the company or the loan officer or the branch, whatever it is, wants to make. And as the consumer gets smarter, as the consumer has more information handy, as the consumer wants an easier, quicker process, the value tends to go down, right? That's just economics 101. If you can get it faster, cheaper, better,
well, it's
easier.
the nature of the world that we live in now.
Right.
Technology, it's this tidal wave coming in, and you're either going to drown from it or you're going to grab a surfboard and surf it. Clearly, you don't make it into the top 200 by not knowing how to advance with the market and gain market share. So what do you do now to stay competitive, to stay relevant, to be instrumental in the lives of the realtors that you work with? Because obviously that's where most of your business come from, is you're one of the most referred originators in the country, certainly Denver, where you're out of.
Yeah. I think it's really important that you don't become a brown cow, right? At the end of the day, we're selling a commodity business. You can come to me, there's probably 10 mortgage companies in this building that can go and deliver a product that's pretty similar, right? The mortgage industry is different from real estate because, in my opinion, you may have the same model of home, but one on this corner, on this neighborhood, compared to the same exact house that's, overlooking the ocean, it's gonna have a much different price. And, when you close, the day you close, you may pay more for the one looking over the ocean because you're going to have something different the next day. Whereas, not saying that everyone has to be the same price, but there is the commoditization on the mortgage side. No matter what I do, if I get a 30-year fix from you or I get a 30-year fix from you, tomorrow I have a 30-year fixed mortgage that pretty much looks, acts, smells the same as this guy's.
Sure. So I think what's really interesting about my relationship with you now, I'm glad we have you on the show, but full disclosure to the audience, The American dream is all across the country. Each city, we have a different ecosystem of the professionals that we make the voice for that market. You're coming out of Denver, one of my favorite cities. We have some of the most elite realtors that are integrated onto our show as the power players of real estate, a trademark term. And we aligned with a company called Synergy One Lending, phenomenal company I'm very fond of. Dan Reynolds, the regional out there, Steve Majerus, the president, Tori Larson, CEO. I mean, I know these professionals very well. You just made a move to this company. I heard about it through the marketplace and through realtors and all these different people within the industry and from the show before I even had the opportunity to meet you. So you basically just made a really big tidal wave in the industry. I know you got a lot of people that are interested in this move. Why do you make that move?
I think there's many reasons. I think it's something different first and foremost. I think the company, the leadership, I think what they are doing is forward thinking. You have the Quickens of the world, right? Like you can't deny what they're doing. I mean, these guys are in, you hear about them in hip hop songs. I mean, everybody knows Quicken, right? And whether you like them or don't like them, the reality is they're here, and you have a consumer pool that wants to go that direction, right? And then you have the consumer pool that wants their handheld and wants the relationship and those types of things. I think you have to have both. I think you have to have you have to use the technology, you have to be quick, you have to be nimble, you have to be, efficient in the way you deliver, make it as easy as you can, make it friendly, make it fun, all those types of things. I mean, getting a mortgage, not that much fun, but you can make it a little bit sexier than the next guy, right? And you can make it more of a hands-on experience, but also at the same time, they want to get a loan. So, as much as I would love to say, come work with me, getting a mortgage is so much fun, it's not fun. But the easier that you can make it and the more, efficient and effective to not just be click a button, but also, because I think to a certain point you can just click a button, but there's a lot that goes into that financial decision where once you get into it a little deeper, you want to have that advocate behind you. You want to have a knowledgeable professional. And I think that's where, that's where Synergy One is. I mean, they definitely understand things are changing and they're changing quickly. And if you can't change quickly and you can't adapt and you don't have leadership that wants to say, hey, we need to change tomorrow, not we need to look at this for the 2019 plan or the 2020 plan. We need to fix this today. It's like you're playing in a football game. At halftime you need to make a decision. You don't need to look for what the draft's going to be next year to reset your team. So that's really kind of, as a whole, what really excited me about Synergy One. On top of the fact that you have a nimble, forward-thinking mortgage company in a time where most companies are trying to figure out who they're going to be, how they're going to make money, what they're going to do.
Right.
Now you get the behemoth, the Goliath, let's say, of Mutual of Omaha Bank that comes in, merges, buys, whatever you want to say, of Synergy One and says, hey, we have the strength, the power, the backing of this, privately held bank, that doesn't have to answer to Wall Street like the U.S. banks and Wells Fargo and the big players that have huge market share, but they take now combined with that smaller, faster, nimble company. I mean, that's a tough combination, man. I mean, I definitely didn't want to be going against them. That's for sure.
Well, I know the company well, and what I love is the entrepreneurial spirit with the muscle of Mutual of Omaha Bank behind them. And you described 2008, and then you said in this conversation that 2018 is similar in its disruption and its chaos. In 2008, I don't know the exact number, but something like 70% of mortgage originators got wiped out of the business. New licensing came in, but guys like you gained market share, right? Now, I'm sure it was stressful and crazy and new laws and everything coming through, but in disruption and chaos, to me, is the best opportunity, but you have to be aligned with leaders. And I think that you've made a move to position yourself on a platform that allows you to leverage the skill set that you have with all the tools that you need. So I think it's incredible. We're excited to have you on the show in Denver to be the voice of the mortgage industry with the team we already have out there. I just feel like for us and the show and the impact it's going to have on consumers, it's awesome. But also integrating in the best realtors of the Denver marketplace onto our show. It's good to have you be involved. Thank you so much for coming on and giving us some good intel here today.
Thank you. Looking forward to the opportunity.
Well, there's a reason he's an award-winning mortgage banker. If you're in Denver, Colorado, even beyond, this is a guy I would reach out to, whether you're a loan officer, realtor, or consumer. Eric is clearly the man. More of the show coming up next.